can now open up the DXF file and observe how the layering turns out. So let's go to File, Open, and then search for the DXF file, the street DXF. Say Open. So we see the file that we drew in Topo, and we see that the codes are in place: TC1, CL1, BC1, the gutter line, and the building polygon we drew. So if we bring up the Layer Manager, we can see here that in the in the areas where we did delineate which codes were used and which layers, in other words, the points, the building, street, and street 2 were the layer names that we described for those lines. But we also didn't give any description to the gutter line. And if we take a look here, let's just select this here. The gutter line here is in the layer called Topo Default. Okay? So if you do not put down any layer name in when you're creating your text field, your text file for importation, and you just lay out lines and then export DXF, it'll import into AutoCAD using the default. So here's the default layer name: Topo Default, Topo Default, and Topo Default. So it tells you those are using default names. These here, if I turn off all of them, say Apply, okay, and just turn on the default ones here, okay, say Apply, you can see that only the gutter line shows up, right? Because that's the only one that had that default naming convention. So it's very nice to import DXF into AutoCAD because it brings in all the 3D line work or 2D line work. Remember, you could flatten the zeros. That just takes all the Z information and puts it at 0, so you can just bring in 2D line work. It's more flexible than FBK in certain ways. FBK, although, is very valuable, but if you're just trying to lay down some lines and want to just put them in layers, DXF export and using DXF layer names in the feature code import is the way to go.